All right, so in this video, we're going to take a look at the dive trips entry form in the Scuba 3 file. This is the Independent Challenge 1 problem from Module 3. And we're specifically going to look at steps F and step G. So you should have been able to get from A to E fairly easily. And if you have not done that yet, then go back, go ahead and create this form, walk through these steps. When you get done with E, come back if you have any issues and check this video out. All right. So with that, and hopefully, I mean, by the time you're done with E, your form should look something similar to this. Your spacing may be a little bit different, but that's okay. We're gonna play with that and fix that all up anyway. So it really doesn't matter that much. All right. So when we're taking a look at this, it says in F, it says using form design view, move and resize the controls as shown in figure 3-18 down here. This will require several steps. So we're going to go through some of that now. So as you take a look at this, you notice immediately that all this white space is gone. Okay, so they left just enough to make it legible, but so that your form wouldn't take up a huge space. So we're gonna play with that. Now, obviously, the alignment's different and all that. Well, we do that in the next step. Okay, so let's look at how to remove this white space and to get this looking similar to this. I'm going to go ahead. You notice it said using form design view, so I'm going to go ahead and go under view and go to design view right here, and here we have our design view and we have all this space in here. Now, you can go ahead and click on each one of these, and if I hold down the shift key, I'm gonna hold down shift and click on each one of these little babies, and then you can use the arrow keys or drag with the mouse or whatever you might want to do, and you can move this stuff all around. Okay, but let me show you an easier way of doing it. I just clicked out of it, so I left clicked right here, so I would have nothing selected. Now I want to go ahead and click way up here in the corner. I'm just going to start right here and hold the mouse button down, and I'm going to drag and then let go now with my mouse. Okay, so you notice I've selected everything. So the beauty of doing it this way is that we're going to let Access do the work for us. Okay, and this saves a lot of time. So I'm going to go ahead and go, and notice I'm under Form Design Tools up here under Design. I'm going to click on Arrange, and when you click on Arrange, there's an option over here that is called Size/Space. Okay, so hopefully you're familiar with that. We're going to go ahead and click on that, and you should have used this in step, I think it was D. Yeah, step D asks you to use this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to come down here and I am going to use these verticals in here to get rid of this white space. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and say decrease vertical, and it's going to start decreasing my space in here, and I'm going to have to do it a few times. Okay, and so notice how it's setting that all up. Let's say that there were some that were way just off space-wise. So let's do this. Let's take these, and I'm just going to use the arrow and arrow keys and drop that down there. Let's say we have this huge ugly space in here, and we're like, oh man, how are we going to do that? Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. Left click up here, hold down the mouse, drag down, select everything, and let go. And now, so I have them in there. But now if I'm trying to do equal spacing, it's going to do something funky, but that's okay because we just want it to be equal. Then we'll start taking away the white space. So once again, I'm going to click on this and I'm going to say equal vertical. And notice how, I have all this ugly space in here. Terrible, right? Not a big deal. Going to click on this again, size and space again, go down here and say decrease vertical and decrease again. It's going to take a few times. Again, there are other ways of doing this. We're just trying to, show you a few things. Let's see, maybe one more. What do you think? Maybe one more. Okay, and I'm going to click away. Not too bad, not too bad. Let's go ahead and I'm going to click on design and then go over here to view and switch to form view again. Okay, I would say that's pretty close, right? So now we have these equidistant pieces in here. So if you're just dragging these one at a time, sometimes it's a little tricky to try and get them perfect, and you may end up with a bigger space in between these two than you do between these two. So it's a good idea. So again, select them all, do equal, vertical, and then start decreasing the space in between. All right, so once we've got that done, I need to switch back over to design view because there's one more piece that says down here we've done this. So once the controls are resized, drag the top of the form footer section, which is down here, right, up to remove the extra blank space. So I'm just going to go to the top of it, which it says, right, and I'm going to drag this up right into this space right here. And I'll probably leave it right about there, and it's going to be fine. So, so anyway, so we have that piece in there. We have let's see, what else are we going to do in here? Oh, we're going to do the next step. We're going to modify all this alignment. And again, you can play with the form footer and get it, kind of exactly where you want. All that. It really doesn't matter a whole lot for what we're doing right here, but um, it'll you'll see the changes that you make as you play with it a little bit. Okay, so let's take a look at alignment again. So on G, when it says using form layout view, so I'm going to go ahead and go over here to view and go to the layout view. And here's my piece in here. And obviously I'm going to be looking for this text align. So notice this says general on this particular one. So it says modify the labels and alignment of the labels as shown in figure 3-18. So note there are spaces between the words and the labels. The labels are right aligned and the text boxes are left aligned. So here's our right alignment for all of these as we go down. The spaces in between, notice that Dive Master ID right here is all together, but over here there are spaces in between to make it more legible for the user. So that's totally easy to fix. I'm just going to click right on that one and go here under caption, click with the cursor in here, left click, and I'm just going to add a little space in there and click again, add a little space there, and then if you just hit enter or tab, whatever, you'll notice it makes the change here. Okay, so let's do one more, and then you can do the others on your own. But trip start date, same thing. Click on it once. I'm going to go over here, click in between the P and the S, add a space right before the D, click, and then space in there. And then I'll hit tab this time just because, and notice how it does the spacing. So you have to do that on this one, to get that to be correct. So as I am rolling through here, I want to change all of these alignments. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this one, the first one. And then another way that you can do this is you just hold down the shift key, especially in this view. And I'm still holding down the shift key and I'm left clicking on each one of these. Okay, so I'm clicking on all these little babies in here. And then what I'll end up doing is just going over to where it says text align, and I'm going to click and switch that to right. And look, it looks like this, beauty. Okay, and then these are all left aligned. Okay, so the way we're going to do that is we're going to do the same thing. And I'm going to force it, even though these are set, these are still, like if I click on this one, this is Tree Island, you'll notice on the text align it says general. I want to force these to be left aligned. So I'm going to go ahead and click that, click here. I'm holding down the shift or control button. Either one works for what we're doing here. And I'm going to select all of these except the checkbox. I don't want that. So I'm going to select that, select that. Okay, so I've got them all selected except the checkbox. And then I'm going to go over here and under text align, click right here and say left. Okay, and then that will set them all up so that they are left aligned. Okay, I think that's about it for that one. Yeah, so that's about it. So you should be able to go through here and get these last few steps. Remember, we are not printing; you're just submitting the whole file, so not a big deal. Hopefully that helps. So that was basically steps F and G to give you an idea of how to do those.